Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. Have you ever wondered what happens when an educational institution decides to completely step outside the traditional bounds of textbook learning and instead focuses entirely on building community leaders, sustainable farmers, and confident entrepreneurs? Well, today we're looking at the highly effective, holistic, and skill-based education models implemented at Gurukul Mahila Arts and Commerce College in Porbandar. We're going to break down exactly how they're doing it and why it's so important. All right, so here's our roadmap for today. We're covering 1. Empowering through practical education. 2. The power of study circles. 3. The NSQF course for organic growers. 4. The science of organic farming. 5. The NSQF course on entrepreneurship. And finally, 6. Measuring real student success. Let's just dive right in. Okay, Section 1. Empowering through practical education. Real-world readiness. So, picture a typical day for these students. With coordinators like Numberta bin Samani at the helm, the focus is absolutely 100% on hands-on interactive learning. They aren't just sitting there passively taking notes, They are actively preparing to step up and truly participate in their local economy. Moving on to Section 2, the power of study circles, building collaborative growth. Now, these study circles, they are definitely not your average late-night cram sessions. Their objectives are really fascinating. They are explicitly designed to forge future leaders. The focus is on fostering empathy by genuinely listening to diverse perspectives, and they actively build real-world management chops by forcing students to delegate tasks and facilitate deep discussions on some pretty complex community issues. Honestly, it's basically leadership training disguised as a study group. And the sheer scale and variety of what these young women are discussing is just incredible. You've got 56 students jumping into a debate competition and 38 students voluntarily, yes, voluntarily, tackling a complex budget analysis session. It's a true testament to incredibly high student engagement. It proves that when you give students actual ownership of their learning, they show up, and they show up big time. All right, Section 3, NSQF course, Organic Grower, Cultivating the Earth. Under the guidance of Professor Nileshbhai Karvadra, a dedicated group of 20 students enrolled in this specific 2-month intensive program. And the goal? Well, it's to master the deeply scientific, yet totally practical art of sustainable farming. In a region that's heavily agricultural, equipping young women with these exact skills is just a massive game changer. We should probably define what we mean by organic farming here, straight from their curriculum, because it's not just some trendy buzzword about chemical-free food. The stated objective is actually a dual approach. It's about protecting the environment and biodiversity, sure, but it's also about actively increasing the farmer's income by cutting out the cost of those super expensive chemical inputs. So it's a savvy economic strategy just as much as an environmental one. Which brings us to Section 4, the science of organic farming, technical depth. I mean, this syllabus goes deep. Really deep. These students are studying serious soil science, learning how to visually and texturally identify everything from loamy and alluvial soils all the way to chalky and peaty varieties. And right alongside that, they're mastering complex water management. We're talking about understanding the actual mechanical engineering behind drip irrigation versus center pivot systems. It's pretty intense stuff. And the resourcefulness they're taught is just off the charts. Instead of leaning on synthetic chemicals, these students learn exactly how to create and utilize organic fertilizers from scratch. They learn the ins and outs of managing vermicompost, processing bone meal, and effectively using green manure. Essentially, they're taking local, readily accessible resources and turning them into high-yield agricultural inputs, literally making something out of nothing. But what's the ultimate takeaway for these students? It's all about tangible outcomes. The end goal is to create a sustainable ecosystem that has a direct, positive impact on their community. They're taught that better soil and reduced pollution lead directly to a higher quality of life, more biodiversity, and, fundamentally, greater profitability. It's a win-win-win. Let's pivot to Section 5, NSQF course, Entrepreneurship, Cultivating Business. So, question for you. How do you take those advanced agricultural skills, or really any of the skills learned in those study circles, and turn them into a reliable, sustainable livelihood? Well, that's exactly where the course in entrepreneurship steps in. Guided by Dr. Ilubin Gamit and Rushan Ben Raichura, this curriculum basically bridges the gap. It connects raw productivity and technical skill with the broader, absolutely crucial goals of financial stability, market innovation, and job creation. The course actually breaks down business creation into really clear, actionable steps. And what's fascinating is that it doesn't just focus on the flashy startup culture. It explicitly teaches the solid management of existing family-owned companies, which, let's be honest, is a huge driving force in local economies. It empowers students to implement social innovation, obsess over profit margins, and most importantly, it gives them the confidence to be the catalyst for taking smart, new risks. And finally, Section 6, Measuring Real Student Success, Tangible Results. Now, the testing here is rigorous. For example, the official examination paper for the Organic Grower course challenges students with complex essay-style questions. They have to critically articulate the root causes of low agricultural productivity in India and evaluate the precise real-world impacts of new agricultural technologies. So we're talking about deep, comprehensive understanding here, definitely not just rote memorization. And wow, the results really do speak for themselves. We have to celebrate the incredible performance of these top-ranking young women. The exam combined 20 marks for theory and 30 for practical application. Kirti Kundi took home the gold with an absolutely outstanding 48 out of 50. But honestly, the margins are incredibly tight all the way down the board, which just goes to show how highly competitive and capable this entire cohort really is. It's genuinely wonderful to see the actual names of these medalists officially recognized like this. It's a great reminder that behind all the frameworks, the courses, and the data points, there are real young women dedicating immense time and energy to mastering vital, life-changing skills. As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a thoughts. We've seen how Gurukul Mahila College brilliantly merges empathetic leadership, hard agricultural science, and sharp business acumen. So when you equip young women with both the science of the earth and the mechanics of business, what limits remain on the future of our local economies? I'd say very few. It's a truly powerful blueprint for community transformation. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the source material. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.